from California is recognized.
Thank you again, my colleague from Virginia, for leading this. And, you know, for my dear colleague from Michigan who just spoke on that, I greatly appreciate, you got most of the way there, but indeed why we have the Congressional Review Act is in order to reel in out-of-control bureaucracies and bad mandates that come down the pike. And so that's why we have HJ Res 88, led by my good colleague, Mr. Joyce from Pennsylvania. So we're supposed to take back when government gets out of control. And so in this case here, people are not going to have control of their automobile choices. We see that with the mandate coming down the pike here, that by 2026, that's next year, folks, this current model year is almost over with 2025 vehicles, it'll be a requirement of 35% of vehicles sold in one more model year in these states. 35%. Now, at the current rate in California and New York, about 10% of these vehicles are being sold. How the heck are you going to jump to 35% in a year? Nobody wants to buy these cars. As you see, if you go talk to the dealers, they have to have a certain amount of vehicles that meet these mandates on the lot they aren't selling in order to get a Jeep or something you want that has a gas-powered engine in it, or a pickup with a bigger engine in it. You have to sell a certain amount of these other ones yet to meet the quota. They can't sell the other stuff because they're not what people want to buy. And so when you're talking about vehicles you're replacing anyway, these cars cost half again as much as a similar size, similar use car. And so who's supposed to afford that? And then you go down the supply chain here, when people of a lower income, they probably primarily buy used vehicles. Well, there's going to be a bigger premium on used cars on the market that are going to be less available to people with more moderate incomes. And as it is, we're going to see the $7,500 incentive done under the IRA is going to disappear soon. And so when we're talking $14,000 more per vehicle anyway, and that $7,500 incentive that is gone to people that can file a tax return with all those complications on it because their deduction's already, there's a large standard deduction thanks to the Jobs Act legislation a few years ago. So most people can't even take advantage of that if it's there. So what are we talking about? By 2035, 100% of these cars are going to be battery powered. What were we just saying a while ago about the power grid? What were we talking about with all these data centers coming online using massive amounts of new electricity? What are we going to talk about that we can't produce power plants in this country? We can hardly get out of our tracks to build nuclear plants. They're tearing down hydroelectric plants in my district that make CO2-free power. We love to stop CO2, right? And that's what this whole electric deal is about. Let's go back to 1990 in California when CARB, California Air Resources Board, decided we're going to require that by the year 2000, 10% of all vehicles have to be zero emission, okay? So what happened? You go to your dealers there and you see these little golf carts with license plates slapped on them that are pretending to be automobiles, that they're trying to get those into the market. Nobody's going to buy that. Nobody's going to drive that. They're not even safe. So CARB had to relent on that year 2000 goal, and they're going to have to relent again on this and on the trucks because it isn't realistic for real consumers, for real people. They don't want these cars unless they can get a sticker and drive in the fast lane in California on that, but that's a narrow group. One of the automobile reps I talked to drives from Sacramento up to Oroville and then has to go on up to Susanville. He's unsure if the pickup he has, it's a new electric pickup, is going to be able to make the whole trip. So they're uncertain whether he can cover that trip, about a little over an hour here, about an hour and a half up the mountain to get the job done. People have uncertainty about even being able to rely on these vehicles. You've all heard the story about someone bought a new pickup, I think he was from Michigan, and bought a camper, the whole works, going to take his family on vacation. He made it about 2 states away, had to stop and recharge so often that he finally took the truck to a different dealership, a different brand, and traded it in, bought another one with a diesel, and finished the family vacation on that. This is the stuff you're going to put normal consumers through by these mandates. And it's going to happen in many states. And you could have auto manufacturers that, a lot of times people in industry, they want to have just one standard, and they'll take the worst standard as it affects everybody, like food labeling and stuff, and foist it upon everybody else. We need to pass HJ 88 and give people choice. I yield back.